Hey everyone, we're here with round 2 of our Dragons of Tarkir Fate Reforged draft. We lost our die roll. Uh, this is a keepable hand, mostly because of the Whisper of the Wilds. Oh, no, it's not. I just noticed we don't have green mana. Yeah, that's kind of annoying that we're only running 2 islands and 2 plains and this happened to us. So we've got to mulligan that one away. Would be great if we just had 1 forest, but we're going to go ahead and mulligan. That's better. It's kind of like our hand in the first game where we had turn 3 Dragon Scarred, turn 4 Surak, but we were on the play then, so it's not quite as good on the draw, but we'll keep here. There's our Mastery of the Unseen. Would be nice if we hit white for that or our Explosive Vegetation. Good news for us that our opponent's also passing. Blue-red, you don't see that a lot in this format. We'll play out our Dragon Scarred Bear. Might be worth thinking about Hunt the Weaking this morph if it's all in play, that's in play, and just... Okay, so he's probably going to kill our Dragon Scarred Bear if we do try to Hunt the Weak. Oh, yeah, he's going for it now. That's fine. We'll take 2. We'll just play Surak out next turn. He won't have haste, but he'll be big and intimidating and potentially give any other creature I play haste. Fortunately, we're drawing all lands, but that's okay. Trying to think what this morph could be. It could be like a Stormcrag Elemental. Yeah, we're just going to take it. I mean, even though he couldn't morph it if it was a Stormcrag Elemental, he could have a trick. So, okay. It's hard. I think we're going to Hunt the Weak here. Kill the Lotus Patchin and swing for 6. It's a pretty good move. It's maybe worth considering taking down the morph because it could be something really scary. Like I said, Stormcrag Elemental. Our opponent's only 1 land away from being able to flip a Stormcrag Elemental. Could also just be a dragon. The dragons would be annoying too. So now I'm sort of reconsidering what I just said. But it could also be something completely inconspicuous. It's a hard decision. I think I'm going to go for the morph. I mean, Lotus Patchin can do a lot of damage to us, but I think we're going to win that race. So we're going to go ahead and select our Surak and fight the morph, I think. I still have not made my final decision. I think I'm going to go for the Djinn. I've changed my mind. I think hitting him for 6 here is a big enough deal. And that could easily be something inconspicuous, like I said. If it's a Stormcrag Elemental, we'll be a little sad, but we can just trade our Surak for it later. So we'll just go ahead and fight. Also means if we draw any creature in our deck now, except for Whisper of the Wilds, it'll have haste, because Surak now is sporting 6 power on his own. Alright, this may flip on us. Okay, a Tarkir free. That hurts quite a bit, but with what we just drew, we can just take care of that. We're lucky to just keep drawing these fight cards. I think I'm actually going to attack first. In the event that he can do something to make it so our Surak dies. I don't think he can for 2 red, but just to be safe. We'll get in for 1 less damage, but I think the safety is worth it. So we will just do this. What can he do for 2 red? I don't think there's a trick. He could Twin Bolt him in response, which would be a 2 for 2. A pretty good one on our opponent's part. So 7, yeah. Not in, I mean, it won't kill our Surak, but it will make it so when our Surak fights a Tarka, he'll die. Fights a Tarka free. So that works out for us pretty well. Being more careful that turn as we were. Hopefully we'll start drawing some gas and not lands, or plains right now would be pretty pretty sweet. Okay, that does put us on a pretty quick clock here. Tamer Sabertooth's nice to see. We can also give him Indestructible, which is also nice. You don't actually have to return another creature. Oh, yeah, you do. You may return. So no, we can't give him Indestructible. It says you may return, but then it says if you do, the Tamer Sabertooth gains Indestructible. So, but we got to play it. I mean, even though we don't have a way to protect him, we just got to get him out there. Gurmag Drowner. Okay. Just in case our opponent has Kindled Fury, which here would give it first strike and thus make it so he could trade with our Sabertooth, we'll play out our Airy Bowmasters, who also conveniently enough can block this Ojutai Interceptors. We're doing some pretty sweet top decking here. I may just let the trade happen, to be honest, because we need the Bowmasters in play that badly. So he's just going to take it. If he has a removal spell, I guess we're dead, but we probably would have been anyway. I mean, we're just going to have to lose our Tamer Sabertooth here if he wants to kill it. Alright, we've held off an attack this turn. Our opponent doesn't seem to have a play. Now the good news is we can make our Sabertooth indestructible and then recast the Bowmasters, even though we just keep drawing land. When we haven't drawn land, we've drawn some pretty sweet stuff, so I guess I can't complain too much. He'll have to block with one of his creatures. He's sacking his Evolving Wilds. One of those might have been nice for our deck. Kind of overlooked them, I think. He's got black mana now, which is not something we saw before, and he's just digging. It's a little scary. He has the mana that may be what he needs to just finish us. He may be able to just flatten our Bowmasters, for example. Or our Saber, well. But even if he can do that, he's got to block with a creature here. So we'll probably take down the Drowners. And we're okay with that, but it is a little scary that he drew all these cards and got the third color of mana that we didn't know that he was missing. This is I was thinking about a draft I did earlier. I was thinking I should side in Mind Rot against a deck like this, which one should, but this does not have Mind Rot in the sideboard, so never mind. Opponent's taking quite a long time here to decide what to discard, which might mean that he has a lot of good stuff, but it could also mean, well, that's probably what it means. Discarded a Mountain. Surprising that it took that long. He's going to have to block with his Drowner here, or die. Maybe he blocks with the Interceptor. Depends on his plan, I guess. It is a hard decision for him. We're lucky we got one of our Bowmasters when we did. Yeah, that's what I would do if I were him too. I mean, if he just has something like a Twin Bolt plus a removal spell, he can just finish us. So makes sense. We'll see if he found what he needed while he was digging. He does have quite a lot of mana. Are we going to see another Volcanic Vision? I guess if he got that right now, it wouldn't. Oh yeah, he could get back Enhanced Awareness and just. Never mind. Our Sabertooth could be indestructible. So, and we'd save our Bowmasters too. We just wouldn't be able to swing next turn. So, I wonder what he has for us in store. He's got to have something after drawing all those cards and pointedly getting his black mana. But the problem is, if he takes the time to play a removal spell here, the Sabertooth is still going to be here. So Flatten would be pretty nice right now. It would take out our Sabertooth. Flatten plus like a creature would be nice for our opponent right now. Indestructible will not save. Negative to toughness. So our opponent seems to really be in the tank, trying to figure out how to deal with the situation. He's probably worried about what we have in our hand, but little does he know it's the Mastery of the Unseen that I may have been foolish to put in here, but it's just such a cool card that I had to. Okay, there's a Morph. Okay, our opponent is really telegraphing Flatten right here. Which makes it pretty dangerous for us to swing here. We did draw Plains, though, which is nice for our Mastery. I mean, if we can get that deep into the game. This is a kind of turn where you really have to think, because if our opponent has Flatten and we swing, we lose. But if our opponent has Flatten anyway, we probably lose. So I think because of that, we just got to swing. I mean, I'm trying to think here. If we just pass the turn, he will flatten our Sabertooth at the end of his turn. And the next turn, swing with his Flyer and his Morph, which could again be a Stormcrag Elemental, something like that would just kill us even if we block the Interceptor and go to 3. So now it's our turn to be deep in the tank after our opponent was the one. There's a chance he's bluffing and he's telegraphing for his Flatten, but he doesn't have it. But there's also, I mean, even if he doesn't have Flatten, like if he just takes 3 here, blocks the Sabertooth with his Interceptor, and flips up a Morph that can just kill us, we're in trouble. I think I'm just going to swing with the Sabertooth. I think that's the play here. And there's really not a good play here. I mean, we're just in a bad situation. Our opponent is too, I guess, but I think we just go for it with the Sabertooth, keep back the Bowmaster. Or maybe we swing with both. This is a hard turn. I think I'm just going to swing with both. Worst case scenario, I mean, we can still bounce the Bowmasters and play it again. So I think that's what we go for here. We just go in, hope that our opponent isn't sporting a Flatten in their hand. And even if he does, like I said, we can bounce our Bowmasters and play it, and effectively we'll have Vigilance, and that may save us another turn anyway. So, okay, our opponent's back in the tank. We're trading off being in the tank here. This has been a pretty difficult late game to navigate through for both of us. It's because it's so close. I mean, if our opponent has to block here, I mean, we're pretty happy. And it looks like he does. Okay. See if he has something else. Maybe a Deathwind. Although he could have just Deathwinded instead of blocking it all, but maybe you want to declare the block first. Okay. I think, I mean, it's a little dangerous. He could kill it in response, but if he can kill it, he can kill it. I think we return the Bowmasters to our hand and cast it again to have a reach creature ready to block. So knocked our opponent to 1. So he was just telegraphing Flatten. So it seems. Right. He's doing something now. I mean, the other danger is if we do return him right now, he could have something like Twin Bolt and destroy him in response to him becoming indestructible. But also, if he has Twin Bolt, we're also dead to Ojutai Interceptor. So I think we still return the Bowmasters once we get to our second main phase. This Mastery of the Unseen would have been nice if we could play it early, but right now it's not going to do a whole lot. I probably will play it this turn. I think I have enough mana to play it, and okay, what's our opponent doing? But I think I have enough mana to play it and return. So 9, and we need 2 for target attacking. Okay, he should have done that before he took damage. I think he made a mistake, and he should have done that on our Tamer Sabertooth too. So I think we've encountered another mistake in this draft, but I guess we'll take advantage of those. We'll return. It may be that he has a 1 mana. I don't think he could have Wild Slash and use it to kill our Sabertooth, and that could be his whole plan. But I think even if he kills our Sabertooth, we're happy with the way things have gone. And we will use the Sabertooth's ability, return our Bowmasters. His Whisk Away fizzles. Does he have Wild Slash? It's hard to know, but we'll recast our Bowmasters. You do not want to cast it face down at all. And then we'll play our Mastery of the Unseen. It may come in. It may end up being important. And we'll end our turn. It's a tight game still, but we got it. That was close. I mean, our opponent using Whisk Away at the wrong time really helped us there. I mean, if he targeted our Sabertooth there, we would have been in much more trouble. We still would have returned our Bowmasters and then played it again and had a blocker, but we would have been in much more trouble there. So another mistake by our opponent helped us out. May just be having a lucky day here, but I won't say no to a lucky day. Trying to decide if I want to side anything in here. We didn't see a lot of flyers. Saw a few. Shape the Sands is a nice trick removal spell against flyers, and he does have the Ojutai Interceptor. But we can also kill that countless other ways. I don't think it's worth putting in either a Spider Silk Net. I mean, if I saw a deck that was just absolutely filled with flyers, I might, because that is one area where our deck's pretty weak. We have our 2 guys with reach, but that's about it. But I think we're just going to run this back out there. I don't think any of this is what we need or want, so we'll just go out there to go to game 2 of this second match. Okay, it's a land-filled hand, but we do have a turn 2 drop and the incredibly powerful Tamer Sabertooth who won us the last game, so I think we'll keep it. We also have our white mana, so if we see our Mastery, we're pretty happy. So we'll keep. All right, so we continue our theme of drawing the color for the card that we don't really care about. It gives us a turn 3 drop, though, so we have 2, 3, and 4 drops now. It is I may not play the Sabertooth on turn 4. It can be a little dangerous to do so because he's not protected. You need to, so he's kind of a 6 drop in that way, but we'll see how the game's going. We may want to put him out there anyway. And we got an Epic Confrontation, which is nice. These elusive Spell Fists can be pretty powerful in the right deck. I mean, if our opponent has a lot of rebound, he's not really in the colors for rebound, though. So, I mean, he has blue, so he has a little bit of rebound, I'm sure. But the white rebound spells some of them are more powerful. Tygam Strike is great when you put it on this guy. And we don't have any instant speed removal to punish that, so it's especially good against us. And there's a Morph. All right, opponent's just passing the turn. I think that leaves us. Now we have a different turn 4 play, so we probably will wait to put out our Tamer Sabertooth. We're just going to play our own Morph and pass our turn. We don't really want to trade this guy. There's no reason to at this point. And I mean, he can just block. It can even not be a trade. So We may Epic Confrontation next turn instead of the Formless Nurturing, but then we'll turn 5 Nurturing and then turn 6 Sabertooth, assuming we draw a land sometime in the next few cards. And that'll be pretty nice. Right, Kolagon Monument does activate our friend's Elusive Spellfist, and it's also something we can't deal with very well because we don't have the we don't have instant speed removal. I think right now I am going to kill my opponent's Morph with Epic Confrontation. Okay, what's happening now? Self-inflicted wound. Okay, that makes us sacrifice our Beast Breaker, unfortunately. Our opponent sided that in. It's a good card. Probably should have used it earlier, so he could have hit us for 3, but it still hurts us. We have to lose our Beast Breaker here. And we lose 2 life at the same time, so our opponent's definitely bringing the early pain. We get Epic Confrontation twice and take out both creatures, which is definitely a consideration here. And then swing. And I think that's what we're going to do here. It might be nice to save an Epic Confrontation, but as I noted, I cannot deal with Kolagon Monument. I have other removal on my deck, and if we can get the Sabertooth out there in a little while, I think we're going to be pretty happy. So we will Epic Confrontation and fight the Elusive Spellfist. And then we will Epic Confrontation and fight his Morph, which may be an Ojutai Interceptor, which we don't want to see. It was in a Tarkir Freet. We didn't really want to see that either. So we'll just crack in there for 4 now that we've removed his board. He's only got 2 cards in his hand too, and we have 2 as well, and one of them is incredibly powerful, so I like those odds. This Monument could become a serious problem, and it will in 1 more turn. So we need to keep an eye on that. All right, so drawing Surak there is pretty great. I think we just swing in here with our Morph. We're willing to trade here. And then I think we play Surak. If he can stay in play, he will, sorry, I want to leave 1 green on top. He will give whatever I play haste. So it's pretty nice. This Monument may be ready to trade with him, but we're okay with that. If he just gives, you know, a Tamer Sabertooth haste, for example, we're pretty happy. It doesn't look like he has the 6th land because he probably would have just slammed it. So we're just going to take this Morph. It could be in a Tarkir Freet, but that's fine. Doesn't look like it is. See what our opponent's going to put out there. All right, he's twin bolting our Morph, but that's okay. We're still going to have haste when no matter what we play this turn. Like I said, I'm pretty reluctant to play our Sabertooth still. I just can't get to the 6th land. I need to protect it. But he does have 1 card in his hand, and we can swing for 9 this turn if we play it. Our opponent can crack back for as much as, let's say, 10. Let's assume this isn't a Tarkir Freet. Actually, it could be as much as 11. But I think that's probably worth the risk, the amount of damage we're going to do here. We'll also make him more reluctant to swing. Even if he can take us to 10 or 11, he'll be more reluctant to do so because we could potentially just win on another swing. With 3 mana open the way he has it, there's not really a spell I'm worried about. Oh, he has 4 actually, so he can flatten something. So I think maybe I'll play the Nurturing. I think I will go with the Nurturing now that I'm thinking about it. That way we can keep our Sabertooths. Whoa, I almost conceded the game there. How about that? That way we can, yeah, we'll Formless Nurturing here. We'll go with that. What did we hit? And a Whisper of the Wilds. So that will give us the mana to actually do our Sabertooth stuff if we desire to. but we're just going to give haste to this 3/3, and we're going to attack. Worst case scenario, this is either an Tarkir or a, and actually he can't swing with both if he wants to flip his morph. There's not any morph he could flip, except for the Ire Shaman, if he has another land and he draws a land or plays another land. So I'm not too concerned about the amount of damage he can do to us. Looks like he's probably got flattened for us though, or whisk away, but you know, that's fine with us. Surak can just come into play again next turn and have haste. I mean, it slows us down a little bit, but Surak's just that good. And we can swing for 8 next turn if our opponent elects to allow that to happen. He can swing with his Monument now, swing for 6, but we can crack back for 8. Actually, we probably won't, because that'll put us in line for lethal. If he activated his Monument there, it would have. This could still be in a Tarkir free, which puts us in a pretty bad position. But he's... Okay, it's a Monastery Lore Master, which means he can get back his Whisk Away. That's pretty bad for us too. We go to 8 here. I think I'm gonna just play Surak and swing with Surak. What did he get back? I didn't. Let's see. Self-inflicted wound is what he returned. Okay, so I think I'm still gonna play Surak. I'm just going to play Surak and swing with him, knock him to 7. If he wants to self-inflicted wound us, we'll lose Surak, but actually, it might be worth it to play the Sabertooth here. No, we'll lose the Sabertooth, so it's not really worth it. We're going to play Surak, like I said. We'll cast Surak here. Keep our Morph. And we can trade with that if we need to. We still have some gas in our hand. All right, Surak will give himself haste. And actually, it may even be worth it. No, it's not worth it, because our opponent can just activate the Monument and swing at us for lethal. So yeah, we want to swing with Surak. Definitely. We'll lose Surak. We'll go to 6 because of the self-inflicted wound as well, which is certainly not ideal. But there are worse things. If our opponent has a second removal spell, we'd be pretty sad. So yeah, so, and we'll trade here for sure. Actually, I don't know if it is for sure. It's for sure. If we trade here, it makes it so he has to swing at us twice with his Monument. Okay, so we finally pulled this off, but we don't have what we need to get both in play. It may have just been right to play him earlier. I mean, but he would have been sacrificed or something else would have happened to him. Yeah, opponent's going to swing at us for 4 here, which will put him in line for the win if he does. Activate his Monument and just swing at us twice. Yeah. We're probably going to lose this one. Yeah, we top deck an island, so we lose game 2 here. We'll go ahead and swing, but we can't. We're not going to win this one. So we'll just concede. And we'll go to game 3. Those Monuments can be pretty powerful, and that's what brought him his win late game. I wish I'd gotten a Naturalize pretty badly right now, but we didn't. However, Shape the Sands looks remarkably good here, and I might just take out Mastery of the Unseen. Hasn't really been doing it for us, and we can just add a couple more forests. Yeah, and go with that. The Shape the Sands can take down that Monument. It can take down his what's it called? His Ojitai Interceptor as well, and that's both of those are pretty good. I mean, those are the two cards that have been the best against us so far, and I think having Shape the Sands as a trick is a good idea. I think it's better than the Silk in this case, even though the Silk can just keep being placed on creatures. Most of our creatures, if they could block these flyers, can kill them. So, all right, we have kind of a slow hand here, but it's one I'm going to keep. It probably should have sided out the Explosive Vegetation. We'll go ahead and keep 7 here. We've got removal, combat trick. If we draw a land, we can play our Colossedon Yearling on turn 3, and we do. This deck has been giving us lots of lands, sometimes when you don't really want them, but also when we do want them, so we'll take them. All right, we'll play out our Yearling. Next turn, there's a good chance we Explosive Vegetation. Depends on what our opponent shows us. But we don't really have another play, you know. I mean, we have some tricks here, but they're not that great right now. So we'll probably Explosive Vegetation. Yeah, we'll just swing an Explosive Vegetation here. So yeah, we'll swing first. This could be an Tarkir Freet, which does give me a little pause, but I think it's going to be okay. It could also be an Ojitai Interceptor, but we can deal with all of those pretty effectively. So we'll just go ahead and Explosive Vegetation. This will also give us the mana to do more next turn. We'll just get 2 forests. We really only need 1 island, so. And we'll yield until end of turn. I mean, if this isn't a Tarkir Free, we're going to take 7 here, which is pretty brutal. But then we can kill it. I mean, we do have to trade a creature, I guess, in the process. But if it's not in a Tarkir Free, if it's an Interceptor, we don't have to trade a creature. And so I'd prefer that. It's looking like it's probably... No, I guess it's not in a Freet, or if it is, he decided to do something else. I'm going to have to just... Vulturous Haven, okay. Another flyer, not one we'd seen before. I think here, now that we have enough mana to play out our Scavenger, which we're going to do. And then we're going to fight the Haven and swing for 3. Yeah, that's a 3/6 right there. That's a big booty on that creature. We're just going to yield here till the end of turn. So I feel pretty good about our chances here. I mean, our opponent does have 5 cards in hand, but we have another Epic Confrontation and a Tread Upon, and we'll hopefully draw some more gas here. We did thin our deck a little with the Explosive Vegetation, so we're less likely to draw lands than we were before. We don't really need lands. Surak would be incredible. Okay. This turn we're just going to swing and we're going to Tread Upon if necessary. And that's more lands. Yeah, we'll Tread Upon here. Lets us trample for 1 more, puts him at 11. And I'm just going to hold this land in my hand. I have no real reason to play it, so I'm just going to keep it. Be nice to see Stratus Dancer right now, too. Help us avoid removal and things like that. Okay, so we're losing one of our guys. see if this isn't a Tarkir free. No. All right, we're just getting flooded here. He's got 2 cards left in his hand. I think I'm going to kill a morph and swing. I mean, you've got to draw some gas eventually, right? Hopefully we killed the right morph. Yeah, it's an Tarkir free. This other guy hasn't really been interested in flipping, so it can't be a Tarkir free, I don't think. Even if it is, I mean, it'll help him even out the race, but not much else. We're just going to keep these lands in our hands to bluff. Yeah, that's bad news for us. Lose our 1 guy. And that is an interceptor. Now we have an epic confrontation with nothing to hit, which is bad. But our deck does have a lot of creatures in it. I mean, we just can't draw them. Yeah, we've been getting flooded pretty well in this game. I mean, even with, yeah, we lose. We just kept drawing lands and we lose. We lose round 2 here. It was, we did pretty well. All the games were close and they were fun, and yeah, so I'll tell my opponent that, and we will go on to round 3 since we were playing the Swiss event.